Okay, this is my RTI Priest 2, and I've had it a while now, done a fair amount of shooting with it, and I'm just going to cover some of the positives and one negative that I've discovered so far in this rifle. Now, I must admit, it's got to be one of the most accurate rifles I've ever had. I've got the 2.5 and the 177 barrels with it. This is the 177 barrel, and I've got it currently set up for 2.5 caliber. In 177 I'm using a Twink C silencer that I got from A&M Gunsmiths, but in 2.5 I'm using this wider board Huggit silencer because the I don't want the 2.5 pellets clipping the inside of the Twink. Now, I've got this rifle from City Air Weapons in Birmingham, and I am over the moon with it. It is extraordinarily accurate, and it's been extremely reliable. That is until I put the 2.5 caliber barrel on it. So swapping the barrels over is no problem at all, and the accuracy of the 2.5 is extraordinary. But what I have had is a few problems with the .25 caliber magazine. And what's been happening is it's actually been jamming. And this has happened to me a couple of times. Now, I've tried it with a couple of different types of pellets. I tried it with some the Pilarm, BSA Pilarms. And the rifle itself didn't like those at all because it spat them out like a shotgun. They were far too light for the 2.5 caliber. For the GSB barrel just didn't, the CZ barrel just did not like those Pilarm pellets at all. But I also noticed that they were jamming in the magazine. So when you were trying to load, you were getting the pellet seater halfway through the magazine, and then it will sort of quarter of the way through, and it was catching, so the pellet wasn't engaging in the barrel properly. And the magazine was then jamming inside the rifle, and you couldn't get the pellet in the barrel properly either, which was a pain. So I thought it could be the pellets because the rifle itself didn't like the Pilarms. So then I bought these Exacts, GSB Exacts, the Kings in .25, a heavier pellet. Loaded them up into the magazine, fired off a couple of shots to zero the scope, and they were superb. The results from them, well, you can see they're the ones that I've been using on my videos with this, and I've done a couple of 40-50 yard shots with that magazine and those pellets, and the accuracy results are blinding. It's a tack driver in with those JSB pellets. It really is. It's fantastically accurate. But again, I had some jams again. It's not frequent, but when it happens, it's really annoying because it's as if the pellet gets sort of the head of it out of the magazine and then just wedges itself solid. So you can't get the bolt to push it all the way through because it's properly wedged. And then it's a real matter of wiggling things around until the pellet falls back into the magazine. Not ideal. Now, I've had a look, and if you load the pellets into the mag itself, they push out, they push straight through. Easy. I'll show you what I mean by that. Right, so you get a 2.5 pellet, load it into the mag, get it seated, load the next one in, get it seated. Right, so they're seated nicely in the magazine. And now if you replicate the action of the pellet probe with an Allen key, so I'm just going to push that as if it was the pellet probe. So if it was the magazine that was sticking, you would imagine that as you try and push the pellet out, it jams inside. But watch. So quite gentle, not too hard. Oh, that's interesting. And there it was actually quite tight. And that one fell through easily. So I'll try that again. Right, still loaded in. 2 of them. And we'll try. See if we can push them through. And there they go, straight through. So what I'm thinking is it's not necessarily a magazine problem. I think it's where this is recessed here. And that sits. There's the end of your barrel. I'm going to use the 177 barrel because it's out the gun, so it's easy to show you. And what happens is when you load it in, that slides and it positions itself on the end of the barrel like that. So the barrel slides into that groove. And I think what's happening is some sort of alignment issue between the actual holes in the magazine and where the barrel is. And what's happening is the pellet's trying to feed into the barrel. Because it's off centre, it can't feed in properly. It can only get the first sort of part of the dome of the head in, and then it's sticking. That is what I think the problem is anyway. Now, I've contacted RTI about this. I emailed them, and in all fairness, they emailed me back immediately, which was really good. I mean, like literally within a couple of hours they'd email me back to say that they were interested about the problem and did I have any more details on what the problem was. Yeah, so RTI got back straight away and were interested in knowing what the problem was. And it's not just on my gun either. Since releasing the videos on this 2.5 cal Priest, I've had a couple of comments that have come through from other users of 2.5 cal Priests saying that the same sort of things happen to them. Interestingly enough, it doesn't seem to happen on the 177. The 177 magazine and barrel setup has worked faultlessly. And I've put loads and loads of ammo through the 177 version barrel on it, and this magazine has worked faultlessly. Really accurate, no problems at all. Seems to be something to do with the 2.5. And those that have contacted me on the channel have all said the same thing. It's always the 2.5 cal that seems to be the problem. So what I'm doing at the minute, when I'm shooting this in 2.5 cal, I'm actually shooting it single shot, which isn't really a problem, to be honest, because you've got a huge amount of room here to get the pellet in, and because the 2.5 cal pellets are so big, they're so easy to seat, it's not really a problem at all. And the other thing is, anything hit with the 2.5 caliber pellet is going nowhere, so you don't really need a rapid follow-up shot, so it's not the end of the world. But it is a shame that this gun, other than that, is superb, and that is the only complaint I've found. Doesn't apply to the 177. I haven't met anyone that's got a 2.2 that's had the problem. It seems to be just the 2.5 cal that is playing up. Whether it's a magazine problem, I don't know. And RTI, like I say, are looking into it, trying to have a look. I haven't tried a different magazine, though I may end up getting one and trying that. I might have a fault, be unlucky and have a slightly suspect magazine. I'm not sure, but that is the only problem. Other than that, this gun is amazing. It is so accurate. It's just points really well. It's lovely to shoot. The trigger's incredible. That pistol grip's fantastic. It's just an incredibly useful rifle. It's also very quiet. You know, in 177 with one of them twink silencers on this thing, you can hardly hear it at all. The action's very quiet, and the moderator on and the shroud, it's probably the quietest rifle I've ever had, with a decent silencer on it. It's incredible. The action's really quiet. It's a very, very quiet action. So there you go, a quick update on the 2.5 Priest 2 and those slight problems in the magazine in 2.5 cal. It doesn't jam every time. It just seems to be occasionally. So it's a bit of a mystery really, but I do think, I must admit, I don't think it's the mag. I'm not sure whether it is the mag. The actual workings of the mag, the actual rotating part of the magazine, I don't think is what's causing the problem. That seems to be fine. I actually think it's this, more something to do with this groove that's cut here that locates it in the barrel. I don't think that is exactly lining up properly with the barrel. And the other thing is, I've had the barrel in and out a couple of times. So it's not as if I've just put the barrel in wrong, because I've put the barrel in and out the rifle a few times. And it still seems to be an intermittent jamming issue. It's not only happened when I put the barrel in one occasion, and then maybe I've done something wrong when I've been putting the barrel in or not lined it up properly, perfectly. But like I say, it doesn't do it with the 177 at all, and I've swapped that barrel around numerous times for this 2.5 cal. So yeah, it's a bit peculiar. So I'm thinking that it could be this groove here. Maybe the tolerance isn't quite right on this mag. But it'll be interesting to see what RTI say when they get back to me. But I tell you what though, fair dues to them. I was well impressed with the speed that they were on it, like a shot, because sometimes, you know, you raise issues about rifles and companies just ignore you, or tend to brush it under the carpet, or, you know, but RTI was straight on it, which is very, very impressive. And other than that, I can't recommend this rifle enough. It's an absolute stormer. In 177 caliber, it is blindingly tack accurate, and utterly faultless. Just lovely. And in 2.5, loading it single shot, which is not really a problem, this thing is, again, a phenomenally accurate rifle. These CZ barrels are brilliant, really good, and the trigger on this thing is incredible. It's got a really good trigger for a bullpup, really has. Considering it's a mechanical trigger, it's brilliant. So all in all, a lovely gun. Just a pity about that little niggle with the magazines. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.